Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
It is the Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. I'm CJ Baumgartner. That's Corey Tackman. Corey, we got a lot of stuff to talk about here on this Friday. Minnesota Vikings draft stuff will be talked about on Monday's show when that draft is all said and done, so we will not have any talk of that. But we do have some Minnesota Timberwolves stuff to talk about in Game 3 and an Immaculate grid that's coming up. But before we do that, do need to mention that there is going to be some Park Region Conference versus now Heart of Lakes softball tonight, with the Wadena Deer Creek Wolverines going east on Highway 10 to take on the Staples-Motley Cardinals. Kyle Gelsine on the call. It is a 4:15 pregame, 4:30 first pitch. You can hear it on the Superstation K-106, 105.9 FM, streaming online at WDCNradio.com or the Superstation K-106 mobile app. Again, Kyle will be on the call. It's a 4:15 pregame and a 4:30 first pitch from the Staples-Motley softball field there in Staples. And taking a quick look here at Staples-Motley in the new Heart O Lakes conference that they are in currently this season. Staples-Motley sitting with a 1-1 conference record. They are 2-2 overall on their season to this point in the young softball season. Throughout their games, and obviously some scores yet to be reported, some things here and there. So the record probably looks a little bit different, but that's generally speaking how we're looking through the first few weeks of the campaign. And then the Wadena Deer Creek Wolverines are 6-1 currently, and they have, as recording of this podcast on MinnesotaScores.net, have won 5 in a row going into this one. So a Wolverine team that is right off to where they want to be, a Staples-Motley Cardinal team that has started their season at least on some good footing, and should be a good one, should be a fun one tonight from Staples-Motley. Find more information online with WDCNradio.com or by checking out Sports Cow on Facebook. Corey? Moo. All right, this is the portion of the show, Corey, where we talk about the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena.
Well, as you make your way towards the weekend, think about last weekend. Think about Easter weekend. Think about all of the food that you had to prepare for your Easter gathering. Maybe you were hosting and the brunt of the meal prep was on your shoulders. Or maybe you had to travel somewhere and you were asked, like, can you please bring stuff bring buns or bring an appetizer, and just like the effort that goes into the food for a big like family sort of holiday get together type of weekend. Now think about this weekend and think about how the Pizza Ranch could just take the load off of that meal prep stuff. You can stop in, you can visit them, you can take advantage of the buffet at the Pizza Ranch. You can order for delivery. You can order takeout. You can just after a busy weekend of taking care of your stuff, taking care of your family, you can let the Pizza Ranch take care of you with the great buffet, with wings, with pizza, with fries, with chicken, an awesome salad bar. They'll take care of you this weekend after you did so much over the past week and weekend to take care of your people. And then if you're stopping in, hop on over to the FunZone Arcade, let a little steam off by playing some of the arcade games and having fun over there and winning a few prizes and taking something home for yourself because, gosh dang it, you earned it. The Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena is yummy. That's an unofficial tagline, but it's also true.
All right. Talking a little Minnesota Timberwolves. They get ready for Game 3 tonight at the Target Center against the Los Angeles Lakers. Series tied up at a game apiece. Wolves lost Game 2, 94-85, and now are trying to come back after their worst offensive performance in 2 seasons. Luka Doncic, talking about the Target Center crowd, said we're going to need to be ready. Minnesota, saying all the things he needs to say. Minnesota's a tough place to play, all that. To which one of the comments I really loved was from a Minnesotan who said, "We need to let this guy know about the cheeseburgers with the bomb cheese in the middle." Just let him know about some Juicy Lucy's, so he's going to pound about 3 of them before tip-off.
Juicy Luca. They are good. We got that one right.
We did get that one right. That's why Carlos Correa stayed around, Juicy.
Thank you.
Minnesota State Fair and Juicy Lucy's.
Whatever it takes, baby.
Whatever it takes. And whatever it takes for the Timberwolves, they're going to need to counter some of the things that LA did. They're going to need to handle some things a little bit better. Overall, what do you think kind of is just the initial game plan for the Wolves here going into game 3? What do they need to do to make sure that they go up 2-1 into game 4?
It is very simple. It's the same thing that it's been for the Minnesota Timberwolves all season long. They need to decide that this is a game they want to take seriously. That's it.
Yeah.
I think they're better than the Lakers. They came out and initiated physicality in game 1. The Lakers came out in game 2 and initiated their physicality. Like, just be ready to body up and get bodied. If you're ready for that, if they're ready for that, they're a better team than the Lakers.
Yeah.
LeBron and Luka can combine for 70, and they're going to have to score 120 points, the Lakers are. And I don't think the Lakers can do that. I think it's that simple.
As much as Laker fans talked about in game 1 of the Wolves' 50% 3-point shot percentage, making 21 threes, unsustainable, it's a fair point. How unsustainable is it for the Lakers to hold the Wolves to their lowest point total in 2 years and still barely win? That's the other unsustainable part. So we're going to see which one is more sustainable or unsustainable or whatever you want to say. But I think, like you said, the Wolves are going to have a bounce back game. Is there a worry though that they get too amped up with the Target Center and knowing that it's an important game and everything? You think they're okay?
Yeah, I mean that they've proved that last year. That's they swept Phoenix and they played there were moments during that Denver series, you may remember, where we kept asking ourselves, are they going to be ready for, they're ready for those sorts of moments. They are ready. This is a team that is immature, CJ. They're ready for big moments. Mm-hmm. They're not ready for moments when they think they've handled their business.
They're not ready preempt for wind is at their back.
Correct. This is I'm not worried about that at all.
Yeah.
They've proven to me that they can get up for important games.
The one thing that'll be interesting to me, and this is on the Lakers side, because like you said, I think the Wolves do take care of business. I think the Wolves are okay. What I think will be interesting will be what do the Lakers decide to do? Because they've clearly made a point, whether it's JJ Redick or whether it's Luka or whoever, they made a point to pick on Rudy Gobert on the perimeter. Out of all the times that you've seen, they want to get, especially in game 3, you saw it. They wanted to get Luka matched up on Rudy, where Luka's at the top of the key or just off to the side. And Rudy's held his own. I know if you go on social media, we had that conversation on Wednesday, so go back and watch that show if you want the full breakdown. But it didn't really work for the Lakers. If you look at the percentages and the efficiency and whatever, their best play wasn't picking on Rudy Gobert all game. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to change that, or if they're no, this is the plan, keep going at it, it's a long game, we're gonna wear them down. It'll be interesting to see if that continues.
So some of the stuff that I've consumed over the series so far, in a discussion about the Timberwolves, was they have 2 players on the floor that can draw an advantage for the offensive team when the Timberwolves are playing defensively. Mm-hmm. One of them is the one that we've seen a lot. It's getting Rudy on the perimeter. We don't need to break that down anymore. That is just any guard against any post player. The advantage goes to the guard, right? We know that. But the other player that they would try to take advantage of is Mike Conley. But one of the things that the Timberwolves have done very deliberately, I'm not smart enough to have noticed this. This is coming from other things that I've listened and watched, and forgive me, I can't remember because it's been too much. But the Timberwolves are moving Mike Conley around. Sometimes he's guarding Austin Reeves. Sometimes he might even start on Luka because they're going to try to switch. Maybe they'll put Conley on Rui. Maybe they'll put him on LeBron. Maybe Mike Conley, he's hot potatoing his spot on defense. The Timberwolves are moving him around. So the Lakers can't seek him out because they don't know where he's going to be. And in a 24-second shot clock, you don't have enough time to like cross the timeline, figure out where he is and who he's guarding, and then set up your offense and to get into your action. Rudy Gobert can only guard that big old oaf that they have underneath. What's his name? Hayes or something?
Jackson Hayes, yeah.
Rudy is only guarding Jackson Hayes. And if Jackson Hayes isn't on the floor, whoever is their center, right? Maybe it's Rui, maybe it's LeBron, maybe whatever. So if that's what they're going to do, you just have to single out Rudy. They don't have enough time to find, because they actually probably have a better advantage against Conley, but their second best advantage against Rudy, and they know that it's going to be Rudy. If they do anything, I could maybe see the Lakers deciding to go extra small, and maybe you just have LeBron be your 5, because then Rudy's going to have to guard LeBron. And now you're putting LeBron and Luka in a pick and roll situation, which is clearly advantage Lakers. But if they do that, then Rudy comes off the floor and like Julius Randle can be your 5, and it's less of an advantage.
Right.
I mean, so there's the counter to that too. I think they don't do anything differently because they can't find Conley. The Timberwolves have been too pesky about where they put him defensively.
Well, and I wonder too, this is the other thing about Mike Conley, because people knew going into this series that it was going to be a disadvantage for Conley. He just doesn't have a good matchup in this series, and he didn't necessarily have the best game. It's weird. People love Mike Conley the first year and a half he was here, and then it's felt like because people want Dillingham to play, everybody rips Mike Conley now. And I get it. He's aging. He certainly is showing his age more than he has in the first two.
He's bad on defense. He is he's the biggest liability on defense, period.
Right. And Finch, obviously, he's a starter. He's a vet. He played 21 minutes in game 2. People are wondering, like, they made the switch in the regular season before Dante got hurt, by the way, that Dante was going to move in as the starting point guard and Conley was going to come off the bench. And then DiVincenzo got hurt, and then the Wolves got rolling. And by the time he came back, like, it just never quite worked out to get him starting again. You know, is game 3, do the Wolves pull the trigger and say, all right, Dante, you're coming in on the starting unit. Conley, you're coming in off the bench, just to kind of like, again, make that, you know, middle of the series, like, hey, bet you the Lakers didn't account for this, or like, we'll see how they whatever. Or, you know, do the Wolves wait maybe another game or two before they make that plug? That'll be the interesting part. How much do the Wolves react/overreact or underreact to things that happen in game 2? Or do they just go, that was a weird game, let's just keep doing our thing and we're going to be fine?
Yeah, but there's the other team has something to do with this too. Like, if you have Conley come off the bench, do you know who leads the second unit for the Lakers now? It's a double-headed monster of LeBron James and Austin Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
That's not real great for Conley. So, like, if you can put him out there when Luka's out there, because Luka will be out there on his own at multiple times throughout that game without LeBron, without Reeves. Well, now all of a sudden you can then hide Conley on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
When that's the situation. So I don't know. I don't know if that's an entirely necessary move. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. There's a lot of give and take. And like we've talked about on the show before, the other team has agency. So just because we make a move as the Wolves, if our team makes a move, that doesn't just mean the Lakers go, oh man, we can't react to that. Oh no. Like, the other team is going to go, okay, cool. Well, we were planning for that eventually. Here's how we are going to defend that. Like, it's kind of cat and mouse. So we'll see what that happens. All right. One last thing to wrap up the show.
Wolves in 5, by the way.
Wolves in 5 till it ain't. Wrapping things up with an Immaculate Grid. Corey, while I'm pulling it up, explain to the good folks at home what an Immaculate Grid is.
Immaculate Grid looks like a tic-tac-toe board with categories across the top and along the side. You just need to find the corresponding player that matches up at each cross-section of the tic-tac-toe board. And it's obviously baseball themed. So there will be 3 categories across the top, 3 down the side. The goal of this game is to get the lowest score possible. We will try, if we can, to get the weirdest, most random player that we can think of. We will try. If we can't, we're going to take a layup. Like, we have no issue. This is not about, we got nothing to prove here. We want to see if we can win. A win is a win is a win in our book. So across the top, we've got the Washington Nationals. We've got the Texas Rangers. What's that? I
thought that was Walgreens.
We've got the Walgreen. It's the Winona Legion baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hall of Fame is the third one. Down the side of our grid is the Minnesota Twins, the New York Yankees, and played first base.
Yes, those certainly are teams. That certainly is where we're going.
Did you ever see the greatest sign of all time? We probably talked about this in the Yankee Diamondbacks World Series of whatever year that was.
2001, I think.
They were, like coming out of a commercial break, the camera pans across the crowd, and it's in Arizona, and that's the Arizona team that has Curt Schilling and Randy Johnson and Luis right. And Randy Johnson is pitching, and there's a sign held up by one of the fans that says, "It's going to take more than 9 Yanks to beat our Johnson." That was on TV.
This is on a YouTube channel, man. Kids are going to watch this.
College Game Day is known for their signs. They've never had a sign like that. It's the funniest sign I've ever seen in a game ever.
Yeah, that can't be topped. You're going to lose our Pizza Ranch sponsor.
By the way, it was right. Diamondbacks won that series.
Yeah, they beat the New York team in the fall of 2001. That was a big deal.
One of the best teams that's ever existed.
And they got beat by the expansion Diamondbacks. Good job.
All right, let's do this. A.
All right. Twin National. This one could go a few different ways. You could go Josh Willingham. You could go Denard Span. You could go Wilson Ramos.
That was the first one I thought of.
You could go Matt Capps.
Ugh, no, we don't give that guy anything ever.
You could go Kurt Suzuki.
Kurt Suzuki's fun.
There's a weird Twins to Nats kind of pipeline that does exist. Joey Gallo played for the Nationals last year.
Did Brian Dozier play for the Nationals?
Yes, he did in the final second to final season of his career. In 2019, he was on the Washington Nationals, tried to go to spring training with the Mets, and then I think retired in 2020. Before COVID or after COVID, I'm not sure, but retired basically when the Mets were going to cut him.
So we've got a lot of weird. What's the weirdest one of all of that? Gallo or Suzuki?
Probably Gallo, because Suzuki was a part of that World Series team, so he's pretty well remembered.
But hold on. Do we need Gallo for the Twins Rangers?
Ooh, that's true. You could do Gallo for Twins Rangers. Trying to think of a Twin Ranger. Joe Nathan played for the Rangers, I think, after his time in Minnesota.
Kyle Gibson,
that's another one.
One of the Eduardos. Did Escobar Nunez go to the Rangers?
No, I don't believe so. Eduardo Nunez went to the Giants, I think.
Nelson Cruz. Did Nelson Cruz play for the Rangers?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he noticeably missed that fly ball in right field in the 2010 World Series.
So, but Gallo, again, is, I think, more random still.
Yeah.
Like Gallo's of all of those names we mentioned there.
By the way, didn't Nelson Cruz also play for the Nationals?
Yeah, probably. That dude is just he might be a catch-all.
So
I think I might like Gallo might be a more random Nationals than a Rangers, but I think we might need him for the Rangers here.
Okay, so let's go. Yeah, let's go with it. Gallo. Bam, 8% of people had Joey Gallo. By the way, the White Sox cut him, and he now said he's going to try and continue his major league career as a pitcher.
Yeah, cool, man. Good luck. I hope he does it.
Look at the way he's staring at you in this picture.
Did he marry Greg Maddox's daughter or just go to prom with her?
He went to prom. That was it.
All right. Loser. All right. So who's our Nationals? Is it he then? Is he the most random one there, or is it Ramos? Wilson Ramos is like a moment, though, with the Nationals. I don't think that's...
He played pretty well for them. In a very limited amount of time. So, I wouldn't throw that one away.
Dozier, the weird one here.
Brandon Kinsler. who was the Twins closer in 2017 before they traded him. I think they traded him to the Cubs, but he played for the Nationals as well. He was like when the Twins traded him in 2017, everybody freaked out, and then the team ended up coming in to make a playoff spot anyways.
I'll let you pick. We've got 1,000 names here, so I'll just whoever you think is the weirdest one.
Let's go Wilson Ramos, just because
we're right on all of them.
The real like sicko one would be Matt Capps, but like you said, we don't want
to. That guy deserves nothing.
Wilson Ramos, 1%.
Him and his stupid necklace and glasses.
Yeah, it wasn't a great look. A Twin who's made the Hall of Fame. There's a good amount of them.
Who's the weird one here? That's the question.
Well, it depends. Weird would be you'd probably dig back to like Walter Johnson, right? For the Senators days.
Well, my question is like, do they have to be? They don't go in with a specific team, do they? They're just in.
Well,
could Jim Thome? Does anybody think about Jim Thome as being? Is Jim Thome a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
So like that, like
he got inducted already. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, does anybody think about Jim Thome as a Minnesota Twin? Because that's where, of course you do. I think there's more than the two of us who are playing this.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, just put Kirby Puckett in or Joe Mauer or like whoever you want here. Or is there someone who just crossed paths with the Twins for a day, but still was a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like somebody most recent.
I mean, it's probably Jim Thome is the most recent.
Yeah, probably.
Like Paul Molitor. Like, do people remember Paul Molitor here? Do people remember Dave Winfield?
Dave Winfield would be a good one. Yeah, why don't we go Dave Winfield?
Okay,
let's do that one. Dave Winfield, 3%.
Okay, I feel good about that.
A national who was a Yankee, there's a few of them you could go with, but most notably Juan Soto.
Could you? I feel like Joey Gallo fits in the first four like that upper left grit part of the.
I think this is this is the Joey Gallo. He played first base too. The only thing is the Hall of Fame. That's the only thing because he's not going there.
I'm fine with Soto. Let's just take our 86% and move on.
Juan Soto, 27. I'll take it.
The point is I guess people try to play this game to get the weird one. Who is another one? Is there another one?
Did Alfonso Soriano play for the Nationals at some point?
Does
it count like the Expos days?
Interesting.
Because like if it was Twins, Nationals, and they count the Expos, I think Jamie Carroll played for the Expos.
Holy Hannah, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Hard is you could have just put Jim Cott and it probably would have worked because he technically played for Washington and the Twins. Would that have worked there?
Probably not, considering that it's I don't know. How about a New York Yankee who made the Hall of Fame? There's only 1 billion of them.
Again, this is where you got to pick someone who just like who's in the Hall of Fame, but like worked in there and was weird out. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, like who is you could go Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig. If you want to like go way back, you could go Reggie Jackson. You could go there's a
Derek Jeter.
Yeah, we could also do that. We also need a Hall of Famer who played a minimum of one game at first base and made the Hall of Fame.
Paul Molitor.
Joe Mauer.
So, I mean,
let's go Molly. Let's give Molly his flowers. 0.7% of people guess Paul Molitor.
Love it.
All right, I like that. That evens out to 27% from Juan Soto. New York Yankee, who's a Hall of Famer.
I just pick one.
Let's just go Jeter and be done with it. 10% pick Derek Jeter.
Good. Again, this is the game where people try to get weird, so we got saved a little bit there.
We got saved by being average. Played first base for the Nationals for one game. Who is the Nationals' first baseman? Oh, Adam Dunn.
Did Dunn. He Nationals?
Yeah, he was with the Nationals and then went to the White Sox after.
I just picture him in a lot of other red uniforms.
Yeah, because he also played for the Reds. I think we had this conversation already before on this.
Probably.
Let's go Adam Dunn. One of the slowest base runners of all time, Adam Dunn. Like, legitimately. 4%, Adam Dunn. A Yankee who was a Ranger. Again, Joey Gallo could have fit in this one. Mark Teixeira.
Oh, great. He was so good.
Yeah, he was. Mark Teixeira. 17% of people guess Mark Teixeira.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's a outfielder somewhere.
I'm sure there's a whole list of people there. Texas Ranger who played a minimum of first base, one game at first base. I mean, like the easy out, it'd be like Josh Hamilton, Prince Fielder. Although Josh Hamilton was a corner outfielder, wasn't he? He didn't play first.
I mean, yeah, I would. Yes.
I think he played first for the Angels, but we don't talk about that.
I don't. Rafael Palmeiro.
Yeah.
That's who played it when I was growing up.
Let's do it. Rafael Palmeiro, not Orlando Palmeiro.
Correct. Rafael, the one who lied under oath.
The guy who will follow you on Twitter just if you exist.
Does he?
Yeah, he'll just follow random people on Twitter. I think he followed me for like a week.
That's awesome.
But it's because like it's run by somebody else. So they'll follow a bunch of people and then you'll follow them back and then they'll unfollow you when you're not looking. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of way of trying to get your follower count up. Respect the grind. But anyway, here we go. Let's finish out the grid. Immaculate with an 85 rarity score.
You know, we've never kept track of our score. Maybe we should start keeping track of that thing.
We should start keeping. I'm going to go
in our score just to see.
4, 24, 25.
We don't need to get the lowest score ever, but maybe we should be trying to beat our own score, you know?
Yeah, 85 rarity score.
Joey Gallo would have fit in the left 6 spots.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy.
Respect Joey Gallo.
I mean, damn, you got to be versatile. You want to play, you got to be able to do anything for anyone, anywhere, at any time. And Joey Gallo was one of the best abilities is availability.
Mm-hmm. I thought his best ability was swinging and missing.
Well, there's that too.
Him and Miguel Sano rivaled for their amount of swing and miss, but also when they connected with the ball, it went 500 feet and was amazing to watch.
Yeah, no one hit the ball farther per hit probably than Joey Gallo.
Mm-hmm. His batting average on balls in play is super great because it's only his home runs.
And Joey Gallo finished the season with 36 hits, 27 of which were home runs.
Joey Gallo has hit a total of 4 singles this season. I think when he played for the Twins, they were like tracking how many singles he got. In fact, our last thing in the show here, I'm going to look up Joey Gallo on Baseball Reference. Let's go to the 2023 season in Minnesota. How many singles did Joey Gallo hit? Oh, come on. Where am I going to find this here? Come on.
How many at bats? I want to be able to give a reasonable guess at this.
I want to be able to find it here, but so far it's showing me. I guess we can reverse engineer it here. So Joey Gallo had 50 hits for the Twins. 50? In 2023 in 111 games, which was good for a 177 batting average.
That's really bad.
He had 21 home runs, 9 doubles.
Well, don't give away all because then I just got to do math.
So, okay.
So 30 of his 50 hits were home runs or doubles.
Yes.
So what you're asking me is, did he hit more singles or triples that year?
Yeah.
I mean, if he had 30, he had 17 singles.
He hit 1 triple.
So he had 19
singles.
That's not a lot.
Not a lot for a guy that played in 111 games.
Every once in a while I come across Tony Gwynn stuff, and that guy struck out in his career fewer times than Joey Gallo strikes out sometimes in a month.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, a season.
Different players, different eras, different whatever, but still, that's just
like a top 4 hitter all time versus a not.
Versus a Joey Gallo. Yeah. All right, that's gonna do it. We'll see you guys. See you guys next week.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.